Hi kids! So, welcome back to school. I hope you all had a great weekend and a great week last week. I just wanted to jump right into some announcements. Then we're going to speak about our assignment. You're going to watch the rest of this video and then you're going to complete your assignment. That is our goal for the day. So in terms of our announcements, I just wanted to remind everyone that KCKPS is still offering curbside meal pickups. In fact, they added 2 new locations, so if you want food, now that means breakfast or lunch, you can go to this location, any one of these, Arrowhead, Wyandotte, Schlegel, Harmon, Rosedale, Banneker. You can go to any one of these schools from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. to pick up breakfast or lunch. For breakfast, that is a breakfast bar, juice, and milk. So think what you'd normally eat on a typical Monday at school in the morning. That's what you'd be eating. Now, lunch is more like a packed, bag lunch. We have deli sandwiches, fruit cups, veggies, and milk. That's what you will be getting in your bag lunch. Now that that is out of the way, I also wanted to remind everyone that there is a call center available for parents, students, anyone in the community that has questions about what is going on, what does this mean, what's going to happen. You can call 913-627-2455 with any of those questions or concerns, and someone will answer and talk to you. Now, the call center is available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., so if you really have some burning questions and you need them answered, just call. Pick up the phone. Don't worry, we're all here together. Now, that is out of the way, let's go ahead and jump back into today's actual lesson. I wanted to do a few shout outs. Thank you to everyone that has been doing their assignments, been updating their journals. You guys are thebomb.com. Thank you. Now that we are getting back into the, flow of school, just expect there to be more assignments posted on Mondays, and those assignments will be due on Friday in the future. So on Monday, we might have a few videos posted, few things that you need to do, and all that stuff that you need to do is going to be due on Friday. That's simple and easy. This week is going to be a little bit of a trial week. I'm going to give you an assignment and it will be due Friday. So the assignment that I am talking about here is the precise language analysis, photo analysis that is in your Google Classroom. So if we were to click this link right here, it takes us to something that looks like this. Now, for this assignment, what I'm going to have you do is you are going to describe each of the photos that are listed to the best of your ability, and you're going to answer what you think is happening in the space provided here below. After you answer what you think is happening, you are going to give me your opinion, your description. This is going to be you attempting to describe this image to me in your first attempt box. So you can tell me what is your opinion, what's taking place, who's in the photo. Just try to be as descriptive as possible. Now, after you do that, that is when you would go back to the video and actually watch the rest of it. So I'm going to do this photo example with you really quickly, and then I'm going to tell you to pause, all right? Halt your progress because you need to do the rest of it on your own. All right. For this first photo example that we're going to do together, I want you to think, what is happening in this picture? And I'm sorry I'm speaking a little bit fast, you guys, but you can slow down my voice if it gets a little bit too much like a cartoon character. Well, anyway, in this picture, I clearly see someone is freaking out. I believe this is Kevin Hart, and he does not look like he's having a grand old time, okay? He looks like he's a little bit scared. And then we look over here, and I believe this is Jimmy Fallon, and he looks like he's having a great time. He's laughing. You see this smile on his face. And if you actually watch this episode of Jimmy Fallon, I'm sure you probably know the context. If you don't, look it up. It's super funny. All right. Well, for my first attempt, what I think is happening, I think that Kevin Hart is being forced to ride a roller coaster. So I would go ahead and write that in for what I think is happening. Now, our what I think is happening is not going to be as descriptive as our first or second attempt. For our first attempt, we want to take what we wrote for what I think is happening and refine it. So if I wrote he's freaking out on a roller coaster, he's being forced to ride it, I need to include by who. What else is happening? How did it come up to this point? So for my first attempt of trying to write a descriptive sentence, I may write Kevin Hart is panicking while riding a roller coaster with Jimmy Fallon, who's enjoying his fear. I think that's something justifiable. It's all one sentence. Our goal of this assignment is to refine the sentence we wrote for our what I think is happening. Be as descriptive as possible. Create that image. All right, so I said he's panicking. It looks like he's panicking. He's very fearful. With Jimmy Fallon, who seems like he's enjoying his fear. Why else would you get on a roller coaster with your friend other than to enjoy them looking scared? That is what I think is happening in my first attempt sentence. So this is a moment when I tell you to pause the video and go through the rest of the images and tell me what you think is happening and write a first attempt description. Tell me who's in the image, what are they doing, what's your opinion. Just break it down for me. So here are all the different images that you can write about. I believe there's 5 total that you need to write a short description of. And go. All right, so I hope your pause was nice and productive. Now, whenever we think, what does it mean to use precise language, we have to go back to our student goals from Unit 2. Our 2.0 goal was I can create writing in which organization, language, and style are appropriate to the task, purpose, and audience. So whenever we actually write, we often write what we think with any assignment, okay? If we are thinking about how Mildred is a liar or Mildred is fake, she doesn't love her husband, we're like, okay, Mildred doesn't love her husband. That's what we write. But that's not descriptive enough, all right? We need something that paints a picture and explains to us why doesn't she love her husband. So maybe writing what you're thinking can be a great starting point, but it's not the end of your writing. Precise language is the act of clarifying what you're saying and making sure how you can make your responses better. How can we be more descriptive for your reader and make sure that they're getting the image that we have in our own heads? So, whenever you are writing, you have to think about it. You have to think, I know what I mean, but my reader probably doesn't know what I mean. How can I take steps to clarify what I'm thinking? So if you are given a question, you need to write the response to that question. After you review your response, you need to revise it to be more descriptive. Think, why did you think that way? And then provide information as to why you thought that way. With that Mildred example, if we think she doesn't love her husband, why do we think that she doesn't love her husband? Explain it to me. All right. So for this next slide, as you can see, it didn't show up here, but it showed up over here. So when we think of what is precise language, we can break it down into 3 simple steps. What I'm thinking, how I might word it, and how I might polish it. So in this example, I say what I'm thinking. Janet stinks. I don't know who Janet is, but she does not smell great, all right? That's what I'm thinking. Now, how I might word it. I don't like Janet because she smells. That's plain, simple, sweet. That's how I might say it to someone. Now, how would I polish it? How would I make my phrase of Janet stinks and I don't like Janet because she smells more descriptive as to provide a reason for why I don't like her? So if I say I dislike Janet due to the foul odor that her sweat glands release, not only does that give you a vivid picture of why I don't like Janet, but it almost makes it so you can see it, smell it for yourself. It adds that sense of sensory imagery that gives you that extra description, extra push to actually understand what I'm saying. So, if another example if I could give you is Tony Stark is smart. Tony Stark is a world-class genius inventor and superhero from the Marvel Universe. Those are two very different sentences. If I were just to give you the first sentence in a normal conversation, maybe you'd be like, sure, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure why you would think that. But the more description I give you in that sentence, the following one, Tony Stark is a world-class genius inventor and superhero from the Marvel Universe, you develop a picture. You start seeing the image as a whole. Okay? That is what we're going for. I want you to be descriptive. Make me see that image. Don't just stop once you think that you understand. Make it so that I understand too. Now, the next picture I want you all to kind of do with me over the internet. I know it's a bit weird, but normally I would have asked you to raise your hands in class of what do you think this picture is about? So, whenever I look at this picture, who do I see? Okay, I see Britney Spears. What about Britney Spears is different? I can see that she shaved her head. It looks like she's having some issues. What else about this picture can I tell? What time frame is it from? I think this is from the 2007 era when she was having her breakdowns. What else can I say? All right, that's what I'm analyzing this photo for. Now, when we scroll down again, I have my example of what I'm thinking. Britney Spears had a rough year. 2007 was a real hard time for Britney Spears. How I might word it is Britney Spears had a meltdown. Clearly, she shaved her own head. She's crying. She's not having a great time. She's having a meltdown. That's how I might word that phrase. Now, how I might polish it. All of those little descriptions that I mentioned earlier, like she cut her hair, she's bald, she looks like she's been crying, all of that I can try to mesh into this single sentence. I have Britney Spears had a meltdown in 2007 where she took control of her own haircut. I am descriptive. I say she cut her own hair. I tell you the year or when I think this took place, who it was, and what happened. That all in one sentence. Okay, I didn't break it up into multiple sentences like some of you tend to make sentences very short. What I did was I meshed all of my thoughts together. Now, that is what we're going for. Not only does that sentence not leave anything to really be wondered or pondered over, but it even answers more than I was questioning. It answers the time, what happened, who was it. That's what we're going for with this assignment, okay? So now that we've done this, for your second attempts over here in your assignment, I want you to be more specific. So for my first attempt was Kevin Hart is panicking while riding a roller coaster with Jimmy Fallon, who's enjoying his fear. How can I make that more specific? So my second attempt is Kevin Hart is panicking while riding a roller coaster due to his fear of heights. Jimmy Fallon enjoys seeing Kevin Hart in this state of misery because it makes for great ratings on TV. That is now two sentences, but notice how jam-packed they are with description. We have Kevin Hart is panicking while riding a roller coaster due to his fear of heights. I may not know for sure that he has a fear of heights, but it can be assumed just from him maybe being afraid. Or if you watch that episode, you can also assume that he is afraid of heights. Now, Jimmy Fallon is enjoying seeing Kevin Hart in a state of misery because it makes great for TV ratings. That gives me more information of why was this filmed. It was on a television show for Jimmy Fallon's late night TV show, and he does enjoy seeing his friend upset because most people would click on seeing Kevin Hart upset. It's just that more descriptive. That more descriptive, that more concise about what is happening. So, once you do your what I think is happening, your first attempt, try to be more specific in your second attempt. Just attempt it. If you maybe weren't or were more descriptive in your first attempt, how can you make it more concise? How can you be more specific to where I can see the image in my own head? Now that we've all done that, I'm going to release you. This assignment is going to be due on Friday, so if you do most of it, good. If you do all of it, great. Have a great week, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Bye, y'all.